Welcome to the Black Sheep Diaries, a podcast for those who never quite fit the family mold. Here we speak openly about family dynamics, boundaries, and the journey to no contact. These are the stories they never wanted you to tell, but they're the stories that set us free. I'm Dr. Michelle Scoggins, and together we'll turn the Black Sheep label into a badge of strength. Hey y'all, and welcome to the very first episode of the Black Sheep Diaries. Today we're going to talk about 5 common signs that you were the black sheep of your family. But before we do that, I want to dive into why the black sheep is so important for me. You see, I wrote a book, Unleash the Black Sheep Within, a few years ago. And it was based off of my own experiences in life as being the black sheep, and also as a psychologist treating so many clients who have also been the black sheep of their family, and what that really does to us in childhood and in adulthood. And if we don't uncover the falsehoods of the black sheep, we are going to be prey to feeling insecure and not good enough most of our lives. So I felt the need that this is a topic that isn't spoken about enough. We don't discuss immature parenting or unhealthy parenting, toxic parenting, abusive parenting. And I think this is a topic that so many people have asked about and have really aligned with me and supported me with. And I feel like this is the next best step, because it's not just a community for me, it's a community for us, and that we can share our stories as the black sheep and come to some resolution about how we've come through these things and how we can help other people do exactly the same. So that's just a tidbit of why it's so important for me to talk about this content. And as we go through the episodes, I will share some of my stories. I hope that you will either email me, text me, send me messages on DMs, however you would like to contact me and share your stories. I would love to have guests on the show, as well as if you want to stay anonymous, just writing in, and I can then discuss it on an episode where you can listen to it or watch it. So let's talk about the topic of the day. What are the 5 common signs that you were the black sheep of your family? Because not many times people really resonate with that, or maybe even understand what it is to be the black sheep. You know, the black sheep is the one that just never really meshed with the family. The black sheep is the one that really absorbs all the family problems, because then the family can remain in their toxic dynamic and blame you for everything. So if you weren't such a problem, if you weren't so much, then the family would do so much better and it would be a healthier unit. So the black sheep really takes the brunt of all of the negative stuff in the family, and they personalize it. So they make you feel as if you were different. Things in their life would be different, or things in the family would be different. So let's start with the first sign, which I just kind of said most of it, right? You're constantly blamed for things that aren't your fault. Maybe you've been told, you're blamed, like you're the older sibling and your younger sibling falls down and gets hurt, and the parent blames you why you weren't watching your sibling. Why didn't you help him or her not get hurt? And you had nothing to do with it. You were a kid yourself, minding your own business, and the little twerp couldn't stand on their own 2 feet. So this is going to be also a podcast that is going to be very supportive, but I'm not going to candy coat stuff for you. So feeling like everything is your fault doesn't feel so great, especially when you're just a child trying to survive in this big world. And especially when parents aren't assuming responsibilities for the things that they do. So for instance, using that scenario that sibling falls in front of you and you're blamed for not taking care of that sibling, but then a week goes by and mom is standing there with you and the sibling falls and does the same thing, and yet mom doesn't blame herself for the child falling, and that reiterates to you that you must be inherently flawed. There is something wrong with you. Something just isn't going right for you. because the parent should also then be accepting responsibility, and they're showing you that there is one side to this story. So the second clue that you are the black sheep is that you're feeling minimized or dismissed. The things that you're doing that are good are looked over. The things that you're trying to do that are good may either be dismissed as, again, being too much. For myself, I was really sportsy growing up. I was very smart. I was into spelling bees and performing arts and sports and you name it, whatever got me out of the house, I was signing up for it. But it was often dismissed when I did things that were good and positive, and they were also minimized. Parents wouldn't attend performances or wouldn't attend games and things like that. And so you could see where a child would get the inclination that even when they're doing the right thing, it's being dismissed or minimized. And this often works into, in your teen years, being pretty rebellious. And so when you're being dismissed for doing the right stuff, you kind of twist it up in your mind to be like, well, if it's the right things and I'm not getting any good positive feedback or attention, what'll happen if I do the wrong thing, right? And if you get attention by doing the wrong thing, even if it's negative attention, it's some attention, and the child will then kind of spiral out of control with the negative stuff. And so that's the second thing. The third thing is that you're being treated more harshly than your siblings. As in the first scenario that I gave you, maybe you're one of 5, and somehow when the little sibling falls down, you're the only one that gets blamed. Or if something breaks in the house, they automatically assume that it's you. And if it's another child that does it, they kind of get off the hook. And so you pick up pretty quickly that things are very different for you. Punishments are given very differently for you. The fourth thing is that you question the family rules while others comply. You kind of notice things are a little out of sorts, like they're not following the rules that they set forward, or they're only making some children follow some rules and you're the one that's held to the highest standard, and you begin to question these things. This is also when teenagers become very rebellious. They question the parent, they question the family. Why are things a certain way for them? And the other children are kind of oblivious to it. There's just 2 of us in my family, me and my sister. And rules didn't really apply to her in the same way that they applied to me. And it kind of went over her head. To this day, she doesn't recognize a lot of the things that maybe were different for us that I experienced and she didn't experience, or that how I was treated harshly and she wasn't, because she just kind of goes with it. They're more of the ones that are going to comply. And those are the ones that the parents know that they have to keep in order. And so the parents will use manipulation with those children to keep them in order and maintain that dynamic that you stay on the outside, because the last thing they need is for you to be in alliance with your siblings. So again, you question those family rules, you question why things are being done, you're seeing the dysfunction in it, and you're really not playing along. And early on, you tend to not play along in the dysfunction. And the last thing is stories get really twisted up and you become the villain in the family. Again, it is like the first one, that you're constantly blamed for everything. But then this is kind of it in another capacity where they make you out to be the problem. Like, oh gosh, we had to come home from our vacation because Michelle started having diarrhea. Whatever is going on. Like, they've never had a kid on a vacation that had diarrhea before. And so they make this big deal about it, and they have to come home from their vacation when really they weren't having fun, or they ran out of money and didn't tell you, or something was going on, but yet they made you out to be the problem of the vacation. So to kind of recap, let's go over them again. The first sign is constantly being blamed for things that were outside of your control and you had no fault in them. 2, that you're feeling dismissed or minimized in the things that you do, especially positive things. 3, you're treated more harshly than your siblings. 4, you're questioning these family rules while others are just kind of going along with the show. And 5, stories get twisted to make you out to be the problem. And this will not change. You have to be the problem even if you go no contact. And that will be in another episode where we discuss how to kind of go about this whole setting boundaries, no contact, and those kind of things. So those are coming up in future episodes where we will dive into a whole bunch of other topics. So if this resonated with you, I invite you
well, that's
to
it
subscribe,
for today's episode of
share
the
with
Black
someone
Sheep
who
Diaries.
needs to hear this,
Whether
so
you're
that
new
they're
on the
not
block
alone.
or you're a
This
Black
whole
Sheep
podcast is
loyal
about
listener,
us
I
coming
want to
together,
thank you for showing up for
being
yourself
one,
today.
and being able to
We are
feel
on a mission
good
to change
in
the
our
world
own
one
skin.
Black
Also,
Sheep
if this
at a
episode
time.
resonates
Don't
with
forget
you,
to like,
I
subscribe,
encourage
and
you
return for the next
to
episode.
send me a DM,
and remember,
send me
I
an
love you
email,
all.
send me something that lets me know that you would like to be either a guest in video or a guest by just sending in your story and we discussing it. So until next time, guys,